What the 4+1 commitment is it's a partnership between government and private employers, and it was developed by Blue Star Families, Hiring Our Heroes, and the Department of Defense Military Spouse Employment Program or partnership to hire and support military spouses specifically. So this is a great, I guess, commitment or program that's put out there. I will tell you that the VA has committed to this initiative to hire spouses. And when we think about the VA, we think about a gigantic organization. I mean, it is the largest healthcare provider in the U.S., not to mention all of the VBA side, which is the Benefits Administration. When you think of the VA, it's a three-headed monster. You have the Healthcare Administration, the Benefits Administration, and the National Cemeteries. That's under the VA umbrella. So there's a lot of job opportunities. What this encompasses is not just VA employment, but also other organizations. And I don't have the list in front of me, but more and more organizations are signing up for this. I'm going to read you a little snippet out of the VA's announcement here, just for your awareness. And then I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on the VA as an option, right? Is it a good fit for military spouses because of their environment and so forth? So I'm going to read this to you here real quick. This commitment was championed by Dr. Jill Biden and is a voluntary commitment by employers to adopt at least one of the following military spouse employment policies that could expand employment and career opportunities for military spouses. So I'm going to read you the four. Facilitate job transferability, important. Offer remote or telework, Chris's point. Offer flexible work hours. Provide paid or permissive permanent change of station leave, PCS leave. VA has committed to all four of those policies, as well as extending leave without pay status to military spouses whose active duty military member receives PCS orders. So that's just one little small snippet. Bottom line is VA is on board to support and hire military spouses. Randy, your thoughts?
I love it. I think it's an awesome program. And let's kind of go back to the basics with it. First, this is a voluntary pledge that these companies are taking. And I think it's absolutely sending them in the right direction to help some of these spouses out and some of these even service members. The job transferability piece is important. That's, I think, talking about internally to the company. So you have certain skills, you have certain attributes, you're doing a certain job in the company. Let's make it easier for you to move within the organization to help support you as a spouse. So there's that. Second one is huge, telework or hybrid work at least. I enjoy working from home. I think a lot of people do. I'm actually more efficient when I'm working from home. So in the post-COVID environment, like you mentioned, Jason, embracing telework is becoming the new norm. And the more companies do that, the easier it is for spouses to stay with that organization as they move from the East Coast to the West Coast or what have you. Flexible work hours are important. Again, we talked about this time zone thing, and then we talk about families. Flexibility is the key. And when you offer an employee flexibility, my experience isn't that's not really a rope that they tend to hang themselves with. They don't tend to be off doing things that are so flexible as that it detracts from their productivity. I've actually found that when you give people some flexibility and some say in what their day looks like, they become more productive. So that's huge. And then permissive or paid leave for PCS is really important. I mean, I think virtually anybody watching this channel that is either has worn the uniform or has been a spouse has been through the whole PCS juggernaut. We know what goes into it. It's couple of months of planning, up to a month to execute, and then it's probably another month or more just to let the dust settle. So in that time period, it's important for spouses and families to have some flexibility so they can kind of leave their own or their old perch and find their new footing. So I think it's great. I love the 4 and the +1 being the VA piece of it. I think it's a wonderful initiative. That's my take. I'll kick it over to you, Chris, for what you think.
Yeah, for the spouses out there, I think it's amazing to have a place to go to where there's a select group of employers who are already kind of pre-validated and pre-qualified to be able to build the situation that is going to be amenable to your success. Leverage that as much as possible. Now, it doesn't mean that they're the only people out there, but that's a pretty good indication of you're knocking on the right doors. Secondly, the resource that we have spoken about inside of companies, if a company has an employee resource group specifically built around either remote work or military veterans, those are also good places to tap into, because you're going to feel more comfortable about asking for what the military leave policies are from those folks, as opposed to maybe a recruiter who may not necessarily understand fully, who may not be doing full-time recruitment of transitioning military or spouses, that would have that information on the tip of their tongue. And then the third place you might want to check too is your ESGR ombudsman. Did I say that right, Jason? To me, that's one of those words where I always chop it up. I can't hear you.
I wasn't in the Navy, so I don't know.
So, and many times they'll have the inside skinny because they partner with companies for DoD awards like Freedom Award and whatnot. There's some interesting information to other employers who are actually really good military, supportive of military spouses. So I think those three things are good tips to have. But, kudos to the VA, kudos to Blue Star families, kudos to Dr. Jill Biden, who continues to be supportive, even back when she was, I don't know, what do you call the first lady of the VP? The second lady? Was she second lady in the Obama? Whatever. She was doing great work back then for the military community, and so kudos to Dr. Jill Biden and all those involved in making this happen.